Hey, welcome. So, this is your second project in my government class. It's called, or I'm calling it, We the People, and it's about the fourth branch of government. Hey, one of the things you'll see is if you Google fourth branch of government, you're going to get a couple of different options. You're going to get media, you're going to get uh, federalism or like bureaucracy, as talked about. But the one that I really think is the fourth branch of government is written right there at the top of the Constitution, right? Um, in the preamble, the we the people. So we're going to talk a little bit about how for this project you're going to kind of explore how you individually will have an impact or on government and how government will have an impact on you. So this is the project assignment, and I'll show you here in a minute where you're going to find all this in the class. While you're watching this video, it's going to show up right after that. And so you'll be able to download a copy of this right here that I'm going to walk you through. And then you'll also have a copy of this when you go to submit the project, which is later on in the class. And again, I'll show you where that's at. So for this project, you're going to have two like parts of people in their government. So you're going to have a couple of different parts to this project, I guess is what I'm going to say. I call them like little mini projects or projects within the project. People in their government, and you only have to choose two of these that are worth 25 points each. In 2 to 3 paragraphs, argue that they should or shouldn't lower the voting age to 16. Participate in a peaceful protest and write a 1 to 2 paragraph reflection on your experiences. Your reflection should include a description of the event and why it's important to you. In 1 to 2 paragraphs, explain what you would do if you were president for a day and why. Be creative, have some fun with that. The perfect president. So either trace an outline of your head or draw one freehand, then using pictures, words, etc., create a collage inside of that outline that represents the characteristics and aspects that you believe would make up the perfect president. So what elements are going to be in there? And I'm going to give you examples of all these things. So there will be samples that will be linked to the document where you can download this document, so that next page, that next content page, you'll be able to see samples there. Talk to a poll worker and learn more about the election process in 2 to 3 paragraphs. Actually, I'm going to change this to 1 to 2. So right now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go, let's do it in 1 to 2 paragraphs. All right. Research a current bill being proposed in the U.S. Congress or in the local Idaho legislature and describe and explain it in 1 to 2 paragraphs. Visit a local city council or school board meeting, the state senate or house in action. If you're here in Boise or around Boise, you can actually go right in and watch them. You sit up in the chambers and you can watch them and see what they're doing. Describe your experience in 1 to 2 paragraphs. Create a poster or video that demonstrates your feelings about a political issue of great importance. For the poster, you can take a picture and submit it as a JPEG file, or you can create it with Google Docs, Canva, some kind of program, some kind of online publishing software, whatever you want to do there. Research an important Supreme Court case, for instance, Miranda versus Arizona. That's where the reading the rights things came from. And in this one, I would like you to do 2 or 3 paragraphs and discuss how it has impacted the government of society, why it's important, and how it impacts you personally. So each one of those things could be a paragraph. Create a visual representation of how courts or how cases move through the court systems from local courts all the way to the federal Supreme Court. Again, I'll have an example of what something like this might look like, but it's basically a flow chart. Starts, you get whatever happens. And when we're talking about the flow of how cases go through. And then some other activity that you could come up with on your own. Remember, you're only going to do 2 of these. I gave you all kinds of examples, so you have plenty of choice there. And then the summary assignment, and this is the part that I think is key. I want you to think about your current self, you personally, and I want you to think about you 5, 10 years down the road. And I know that's just guessing, but In 3 paragraphs, answer the following questions. What branch of government has the biggest impact on your life or on you right now in your life, and why/how? Give me a specific example to your personal life, how that relates to you. Then, how are each of the 3 branches personally going to have an impact on you sometime in your future life? So, as you grow older, I know you can't tell the future, but answer this question based on goals that you have for yourself. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you going to be doing? So then look at the 3 branches of government, which you've studied and learned. There's a focus notes assignment about it, right? That talks about the 3 branches with a little video and all that good stuff. All right. How are those branches going to impact you down the road? And then how are you there going to impact each of the 3 branches of government personally sometime in your life? So what kind of impact are you going to have on those? Are you going to be a police officer? Are you planning to rob banks and get arrested all the time? Just kidding. Do you want to run for office? Or just basic, like, things like that. So it doesn't have to be that broad or that grand, but it can be something like that. So you can't answer this question by saying they don't impact you. Well, I mean, you can, but you'll get a 0. And that's 50 points. That's half the points for this assignment. You need to think long and hard and be honest with how your lives are and will be affected by your relationship with your government. Project's going to be worth 100 points total. There'll be a submission page at the end. Pretty straightforward. I want you to get creative, especially with some of these top ones. If you don't like to write, choose ones that you don't want to write about or that you don't have to write about. There are a few on here that you don't have to write on. And then, I guess that's it. Oh, and there's going to be a quiz after this. And for this quiz, we're going to have a little joke of the day here. And I got to find it here. It's a dad joke for you. So I'm looking it up. I had it out here and then my thing closed. So your dad joke of the day is this. I asked my friend when their birthday was. He said March 1st. I stood up, walked around the room, and asked again. Funny, huh? Anyways, if you don't get that, ask Miss Gilling. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.